make a narrative as if like I'm scared of. I think Devin's a tremendous fighter. Do I think Devin Haney can beat me? Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm on a different level than everybody.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to boxing, because Devin, he's a boxer.
It's on him. You know what I mean? It's on him. He knows that he's going to get this fade sooner or later. So it's only a matter of time. Obviously, we can't go down. You know, we can't go down to 135. So you know, he would have to come up, and you know, he can get this work anytime. He ready.
I see greatness, man. I see greatness. Shakur practically beat you with one hand, man. That jab, man. Most important hand you have, man. You know? And he looked good doing it, sharp. You know what I mean? Distance. He did everything, man.
Shakur Stevenson is officially ready to storm the 140-pound division to hunt down Devin Haney. He has reportedly accepted every rehydration clause and contractual demand put in his path, fueled by a deep-seated confidence that his technical boxing wizardry is miles ahead of any challenger in the world today.
All of these guys, if y'all want me to come to 147, I'm coming in with rehydration clause. I don't even do that. But why am I going up to these guys' weight classes if I'm not planning on?
Devin Haney is firing back, insisting that this blockbuster showdown with Shakur is inevitable. He is showing a relentless level of determination and professional commitment, making it crystal clear to the fans and the media that he genuinely wants this fight to prove he is the undisputed king.
Shakur still at 135. You can't, you know, say your name without saying Shakur to your female tank, right? It just is what it is. Is that fight going to ever happen? Would it ever happen against you and Shakur?
100%, yeah. I think so. I think it.
You think Shakur will grow into whatever weight you're in?
I mean, we're all of us is close to the same size. You know, we're all growing together. We're all like, you know, getting bigger. Well, so, and it's only so many guys, like y'all said, it's only so many guys that we could make big money and people want to see the fights. Which even though I know that they making new guys, it's guys like Kermel, Abdullah, all these guys want to come up too. So eventually they gonna be there too. But yeah, no, I think that a fight with Shakur is very much possible. We try to make happen.
Shakur Stevenson is making it known that he doesn't have a single ounce of fear regarding Devin Haney. However, he is warning the public that Devin's promotional team might try to control the narrative by falsely claiming that Shakur is the one playing games and avoiding the contract.
Devin Haney.
Okay.
Devin Haney's probably, to me, that's, yeah, I don't think it's hit its point yet, but I think in the next year or two, it'll hit a point where it's like the world is gonna demand, you know what I'm saying? I can see the trajectory feels like it could meet like that.
I would love this fight. But look, you gotta watch what you say with like, and this is not even Devin's fault, because Devin is very respectful of my game and I'm respectful of his game. He's a good fighter. But his fans will clip and twist and turn things into something that is not. So I try to be real careful on what I say.
True. This is guy Jay on Twitter. He a big Haney fan. He be always clipping and changing stuff, Jay.
Yeah, they gonna make a narrative as if like I'm scared of. I think Devin's a tremendous fighter. Do I think Devin Haney can beat me? Hell.
Shakur believes he is operating on a completely different planet than his peers. He is convinced that no fighter alive has the tools to hand him a defeat, specifically pointing out that while Devin is a great boxer, he lacks the raw punching power required to even hurt him, let alone knock him out.
He's a fucking stone cold killer who's just gonna go in there and try to knock me the fuck out.
Yeah.
He's gonna try to outbox me. I'm the greatest boxer. How do you... So that's how I feel about the fight.
Yeah.
But it all gotta make sense from a business standpoint. I don't like getting up here and negotiating against myself. And,
for sure.
But for me, I'm willing to
But do you see it as it being that could, you know, like we always said, the Four Kings, even though you wasn't a part of it, the whole thing, the whole plot was like at the end of the road, there's gonna be two guys left standing, and that's the big fight. Do you see that as that's potentially what that could be?
I'm a bad motherfucker.
Devin Haney is a man on a mission to silence the critics once and for all. He is actively seeking out the most dangerous, top-tier opponents like Shakur Stevenson because he knows that defeating the best is the only way to establish his name among the all-time greats of boxing history.
Fights are not possible. Would you be more inclined just to move up to 140?
Yeah, you know, if I can't get those fights next or it doesn't make sense for it to be next, I'll probably go to 140, test it out, see how I feel at the weight at 140, and then when the time is right, then, you know, I'll defend my belt at 135. We'll just see, though. I got to go back and talk with the team and see what makes the most sense. That's really all it.
Bill Haney says they won't come down in weight, so anyone wanting a fight must move up to 140.
Why he didn't become undisputed yet. They didn't mention the franchise belt, which directly impacted Devin's career early on, right? And it seemed like, I was saying this on my live earlier, you tell me what you think about this, but it seems to me like there's a lot of people that have tried to block y'all ambition, right? Between you signed to the wrong company, you know, Loma not taking the Devin fight, Tio not taking the Devin fight, Rolly saying he just don't want to fight Devin. Do you see that? Like, how do you see that? You know, as far as like, people know you're ambitious, they know you want to be unified, they know you want to be undisputed. So they put all these obstacles up and they make it hard for you to achieve what you're trying to achieve.
Absolutely. I think it's been historic in the way that
Bill Haney has officially laid down the law, stating that they are no longer interested in chasing opponents or waiting around. His message is blunt. If anyone wants a shot at the champion, they must step up and meet them at the 140-pound limit. The Haney camp is not moving down.
So we must keep our composure and our patience and understand that it's part of the process when you're that good. You know what I mean? We can't say it any other way. You know, they're running out of narratives. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's what the people want to see. We don't never say, okay, you know, well, this guy has done something wrong or he did bad business. So, you know, we'll never do it. Obviously, you know, when we go through negotiations and we spend time in there, whether it's put something together for Richard Hitchinson, for him to come back later and to say, you know, yeah, I want that fight. Well, when we were trying to make the fight, we couldn't. You didn't want to negotiate. You went somewhere else. When we were negotiating with Shakur Stevenson, instead of him negotiating with us, he said that he's going to go.
To add more fuel to the fire, Bill Haney insists that the fight can happen the very moment the challenger feels they are truly ready. There are no more roadblocks on their side. They are prepared to sign the papers and step into the ring whenever the opportunity presents itself.
I feel like Shakur, just like Crawford was with me, Shakur has the ability to pass Terrence Crawford. Listen up. Now, not in the stance of becoming three-time undisputed and, you know, going up, you know, that many weight classes. Not from that standpoint. You know, he already has 4 weight classes. Crawford is a 5-weight division champion. But in a sense of having the opportunities that Crawford didn't have. You know, Crawford would have been even bigger than what he is if the politics didn't play into the sport at the time. And now that, you know, you have guys like Turki Al-Sheikh that are able to bridge that gap between promoters and, you know.
Tim Bradley has dropped a bombshell, claiming that Shakur Stevenson has the potential to become even greater than the legendary Terrence "Bud" Crawford. While Crawford is a 5-division champion and a lock for the Mount Rushmore of boxing, Bradley believes Shakur has a higher ceiling. He notes that Crawford's rise was slowed down by the toxic boxing politics of his era, whereas Shakur is entering a time where the biggest fights are much easier to finalize.
He was around when Crawford was on his climb. You know, when Crawford couldn't get those big fights with like Thurman and Danny Garcia and Ugas, and, you know, he got it later with Sean Porter, but it was later. But imagine if Crawford was able to have that run and, you know, Earl Spence, Danny Garcia, Ugas, Keith Thurman, you know, the list goes on. If he would have had all those guys on his ledger, imagine how big Crawford would be. He would be even bigger than what he is today. You know, bigger than what he is today. So with that being said, you know, with these fighters hovering around 135, these talented fighters, hovering around 135, 130, you know, guys like, you know, O'Shaquie Foster, like I mentioned, going to go up to 135. He's big enough to go to 130.
Shakur is stepping into an era where elite talent across the 130 to 140 pound divisions is more accessible than ever. With potential matchups against names like Devin Haney, Lamont Roach, Gary Russell Jr., and Ryan Garcia, the opportunities are endless. Bradley emphasizes that Shakur has the elite skills to not only face these lions but to beat them all, cementing a legacy that could eventually overshadow Crawford's.
Haney going to concede to that? I doubt it. So there's a major obstacle in the way. But nonetheless, as you watch these two fighters fight, you can clearly see, outside of cheating, they're more than likely not going to lose. Right? With that said, Devin Haney immediately responds to Shakur. Shakur responds to Devin, right? Again, we had the initial 4 kings. It was Devin, Ryan, T.O., and Tank Davis, right? It was supposed to be the 4 kings 2.0, from the Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearn, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran.
There is always drama surrounding big fights, but when you watch these two athletes compete, it is obvious that they are nearly impossible to beat without someone cheating. The heated back and forth between Haney and Stevenson highlights the intensity of modern boxing's 4 Kings 2.0 era, drawing direct comparisons to the legendary days of Hagler, Hearns, Leonard, and Duran.
We had that 4 king era, but nobody mentions Wilfred Benitez. And the fact remains is Wilfred Benitez beat Roberto Duran as well. And Roberto Duran is 1-4 against those guys. He beat Sugar Ray Leonard the first time. Outside of that, Roberto Duran, he lost. He quit against Sugar Ray Leonard. He got knocked out brutally by Tommy Hearns. He got outboxed by Marvin Hagler and outclassed by Wilfred Benitez. Right? But he's overshadowing Wilfred Benitez. And I felt like these guys, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Tank, and T.O., overshadowed Shakur Stevenson. And now Shakur Stevenson has shined the light by dominating Teofimo.
Much like Wilfred Benitez was often overlooked despite his wins over legends like Roberto Duran, Shakur Stevenson has sometimes been overshadowed by the big personalities of Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. However, after his clinical dismantling of Teofimo Lopez, Shakur is finally getting his flowers. Meanwhile, Tank Davis's outside-the-ring issues and reluctance to take big risks are reshaping how fans view the hierarchy of the sport.
To the fight, Conor Ben comes into the ring, they talk, have some words, but Shakur Stevenson said, I want to put that same rehydration clause you put on Chris Eubank. Tell me, what did you get out of that moment in the ring?
Well, I heard on the press conference where I think it was his manager said that, that was a clown move, but I think Shakur invited that, I don't even know if I would have said all that about Conor being right then, but I think he really wants that fight. He really wants the money for the fight. He been saying that. And now he came through victorious. I think he really wants that money for that fight. He wants the money.
Bernie the Boxer has weighed in on this epic rivalry, highlighting the staggering achievements of both men. Shakur is already a 4-weight world champion and a 2-time lineal king. By defeating a big-game fighter like Teofimo Lopez, Shakur has proven he can handle the brightest lights and the toughest competition without breaking a sweat.
He fights accomplishments, because now Shakur is a 4-weight world champion. Devin is a 3-weight world champion. Devin was undisputed, but now Shakur is a 2-time lineal champion. So he's a 2-time Ring Magazine winner. 2-time unified champion. If you want to add the ring, as far as with the WBO, he was unified at 130. So he's a 2-time unified champion, 2-time lineal champion. Beat a guy like Teofimo Lopez, who rises to the occasion. Had a close fight with George Kambosos. You can make a claim that he was fighting out of frustration or out of emotion. And that was it. He was in his prime too. Josh Taylor seemed to be drained at 140. Not taken away from Devin, but he was already moving up to 47, they were saying. Lomachenko was...
On the other side, Devin Haney is a 3-weight world champion who has already touched undisputed glory. Bernie argues that if Shakur wants to be the best, he must face Haney in his absolute prime. Beating Haney right now would leave no room for excuses and would solidify Shakur Stevenson as the definitive pound-for-pound king of this generation.